Hello, good evening and welcome. In this PetrolBlog video, I'm going to apply some Just for Men to the Citroën Xsara VTS. I was out on a dawn raid maybe last weekend and I noticed that the greys were beginning to show the car's age. I figured it was time to reach for the Just for Men because I think 8 out of 10 women prefer a man with Just for Men. So I figured that 8 out of 10 of my followers would prefer a Xsara VTS with its greys covered up. And actually a few people, I think it's literally 3 people, have asked me on Twitter and then maybe even on YouTube as well what I use to cover my greys. So I figured this would be a good opportunity to A, tell you, and B, show you. So basically what I use, I've used so many different products over the years to bring grey back, and I think glass, wheels and trim are 3 of the most important things on a car in terms of making it look presentable and respectable. And I've tried many products, back to black and all the equivalents. Eventually I stumbled across a product called Britemax Trim Max, so all of the Maxes, and this is the stuff I now swear by. This is the best stuff, not the necessarily the easiest stuff to put on, but I think it gives the best results, and I also think it lasts the longest out of anything I've used. So I'll be using some of this today. I won't be using the spray sealant because I think it takes about 4 hours to dry. So you need to make sure it doesn't rain within 4 hours of applying this stuff. But I will be putting that on at a later date and I'll feed back on that. I'll also need an applicator pad, a cloth to remove it, and some veterinary gloves, which are used for the goats. But for this purposes, I'll be using it to apply the Trim Max. And you do need gloves because it gets all over your hand. The other thing, just because it's a 90s car, I am wearing a 90s watch because obviously I am an influencer of the highest regard. I think to bear in mind with this stuff is A, you've got to let the car dry, B, you've got to shake the bottle to wake the drink, and you will get it everywhere if you're not careful. I'm not saying I'm an expert at this, but it's something I like to use, and it's something that might be a benefit to one of you dear readers. Right, so I've applied some to the applicator pad, and the stuff I tend to use, I just tend to use a small section at a time. It does say try not to get on the bodywork. I just wipe it off straight away. So you're just kind of doing a small section at a time. I think it probably helps with the door open because then you can get to the inside as well. You've got to get those hard to reach places as well. And this is full tongue out mode now because you're concentrating. If your tongue's not out, you're not concentrating hard enough. And you just kind of work it in. If you've got enough on the pad, which I have, as demonstrated by the muck on my gloves, so you don't need too much. It does come out very quick. It's not like tomato ketchup, which takes an age to come out. This stuff comes out like a Chinese dam in full flow. So you can see already the difference is, can I use the word? I'm going to say it. It's remarkable, the difference. So you just keep applying it. No need to press too hard at this stage. All the way in to the nooks and crannies. And this is a job that's worth taking your time over, because if you do it properly, it will last longer. The thing to bear in mind is it does say degrease the area first. I've never done that. I just tended to wash them, dry them, and leave it overnight. So basically that's, once you're happy that you've done it all, and you've made a mess of it like I have on the bodywork, and especially on my like this here, because you can get underneath the VTS badge, it's a bit that you don't necessarily reach. And I've got too much on the applicator pad, so I'll be using that on the next section as well. He says, speaking like a true detailer that I am not. So with that done, I tend to leave it for about 30 seconds to a minute. And it's almost just as important to take it off afterwards. If you don't take it off properly, you get streaks. So as soon as it rains or as soon as you wash your car, you get black streaks. So you look like a Hollywood actress who's crying in a scene. It's the best way of describing it. Full mascara mode. So it turns very weepy, and I'm sure Claudia Schiffer has experienced that in the past. Anyway, so there we go. This is why I tend to press a bit harder, as the actress said to the bishop. And you can see already it does come off the bodywork quite simply. Hopefully he says, hopefully, because I can't see how good it's coming across, hopefully that looks a damn sight better. And you know what? That's one of the worst things someone can say to you when you're washing the car. You know, if you spent an hour washing the car and someone walks by and they say, well, that looks better. It's kind of like the worst compliment you can pay to someone who's just spent an hour washing a car. It's a bit like saying you can do mine when you're finished. Because I've never understood that comment. Why would you do somebody else's car? It's a bit like if someone's doing the vacuuming in their house. You're not going to knock on their door and say, well, you can do mine when you're finished, because it's not funny. So it's not funny when people say, wash. The other thing people say is, you know you're going to make it rain now, which is nuts. Because scientifically, I'm pretty certain that car washing does not make it rain. Again, answer on the postcard if you disagree with me. The strange things people say to you when you're car washing. Oh, the other one, of course, the hilarious one is you've missed a bit. Side-splittingly brilliant, that is. You've missed a bit. Whatever. Anyway, so that is, I think, going to say it, a lot better. Yes, instant result. Now, don't worry, I'm not going to do a video on cleaning the entire trim on the Xsara VTS, because that would literally be the most boring video ever uploaded to YouTube. And let's face it, PetrolBlog's got a habit of uploading boring videos to YouTube, so it wouldn't be breaking the habit of a lifetime. So what I'll probably do is skip all this, or fast frame it, so it look like a Charlie Chaplin movie once it's done. Although a Charlie Chaplin movie in black and white, would that be an improvement? I mean, obviously the black would come up nicer, and I suppose it would hide the Claudia Schiffer yellow, which I know is offensive to a lot of people. A lot of people find Claudia Schiffer yellow an offensive colour. And actually, spoiler alert, on PetrolBlog soon, I'll be doing a feature on baby poo yellow cars. Because that's the kind of feature you can expect on the world's worst motoring blog. But from where I'm standing, well, actually I'm kneeling, and for the benefit of the fashion conscious amongst you, I'm wearing a cast t-shirt, or cast, depending on whereabouts in the country you're from. For the benefit of my international viewer, there are different accents throughout the UK. So it's a bit like saying Bath or Bath. You say cast or cast. And I have to make a gag about cast and say that once you've finished applying Trim Max, you just stand back and walk away. Yeah, always a fine time to make gags about cast. I guess it's all right, but I'm not going to make a sandstorm about it. You don't need a lot. That bottle they've sent me will probably last me 2 or 3 years on the entire fleet. You just don't need a lot. And of course, you're only applying it once every 6 months. I think it depends if the car's outside or if it's in the garage. It's obviously going to last longer if the car's in the garage and gets used on sunny days. Now, of course, the problem I've got with the Xsara is dandruff. Claudia's dandruff gets everywhere. And if you haven't been following PetrolBlog's rubbish videos for years before, you won't know that she's got dandruff. So there we go. Didn't make too much of a mess. Although the gloves would say otherwise. I've had to move the car undercover slightly because it was just spitting to rain. I'll use my left hand to prove that you can apply this using your left hand as well as your right hand, which is great news for all the ambidextrous people of the world. Hopefully you can see the before and after from this angle. And a hell of an angle for the Xsara VTS, isn't it? And I suppose you could use masking tape to cover up the bodywork to make things easier. But it comes off so easily, and if you've got clean gloves it comes off even easier. But I like to make sure I get into all the bits that show up the greys. Notice there's a slight crack in the bumper there. And I'll tell you what it's really good at. It's really good at hiding scuffs. You know those nasty car park scuffs that seem to be on plastic bumpers whenever you come back to a car to leaving it in the supermarket. No matter how far away you park from people in a car park, you'll always come back to have someone park next to you. And they always tend to be big lumbering SUVs where the drivers, or MPVs where the drivers don't care about your doors or your bumpers. So you can see, well hopefully you can't see, but there's scrapes along here. And it does hide them really, really well. Yeah, look at the difference. Bloody hell. That looks really good. I mean, that looks too good. The problem I've got is that you can see now it shows up the dirt on the tyres, and it shows up. Believe it or not, this car was clean, but coming up the track this morning, all that stuff's come up the back. Also, the exhaust is very inset, isn't it? But yeah, almost looks, at the moment, looks a bit Shane Newy. It's that worst thing of the world, isn't it? It's when a really bad car salesman uses really shiny stuff to improve the interior, and you get all that kind of Mr. Sheen look, which nobody ever wants. So that's almost one of the reasons why you should make sure you rub it in. And although I like to apply it using the circular motion, I tend to use backwards and forwards motion. This is once I'm taking it off. And like I say, it does come off the plastic bumpers really easy from the paintwork. So that was quite remarkable. They were the days when the Question of Sport was great. What's your favourite era of the Question of Sport? Mine was Bill Beaumont and Emlyn Hughes. There you go, I've said it. I don't think I've even watched it since a pair of them left. Yeah, that looks really good. So that's it, job done. The whole thing took me less than half an hour, and I could have done it. I could have been slower, but sometimes it's important to get things done, especially when it's just about to rain. And I think the results are great. You know what I like about this? Well, two things I like about it. Well, three things I like about it. I like the results. I like the fact that it's OEM look. It's not too shiny, it's not too polished, and it's not too over the top. It's as I'd expect the bumpers to look when it was new. I also like the fact that you don't need much, but I've used no more than a teaspoonful. So, got to imagine how long that's going to last if I've only used a teaspoonful to do an entire car. What I will say is the Xsara wasn't that bad. I mean, she's been worse than that. What I'll do in a minute, well, when I edit the video, I'll show you what the Beer Money Citroën looked like before I applied the stuff, because I had the original bottle. So these were as grey as grey. Not even Just for Men would have bought these back up. They were so far gone, and the results, well, on the photos you'll see they look absolutely remarkable. But even Steffi has come over to admire the results. She's had enough of advertising Lloyd's Bank. She's going to come over here now. But look, see, I'm pleased with that. I would say it looks better. Looks a lot better. I need to do the tyres now because they're showing up. They've been shown up by the black. So yeah, what do you think? Just for Men? Are you converts? Do you like it? It's good stuff. You should like it because it's really, really good stuff. It's really satisfying to put on. And I think the results speak for themselves. However, Club members, Club PetrolBlog members, listen up. Especially you, John Garland. My apologies for missing you off the list on the Citroën video. You are the latest member of Club PetrolBlog, along with Andy Reid and John Sims. Not the John Sims. That would be quite remarkable if it is the real John Sims. Hello, John Sims, if you are the original John Sims. Well, actually, no. I don't know if you're the original. Anyway, I'm digressing. That's that word again. See these? See these fun size bottles here? If you fancy the fun size bottle of Trim Max to use on your dull and grey plastics, get in touch. Drop me a note to the usual address. Tell me why you want it. And I will send these to the... So I'll do it the first person to respond? No, I'll tell you what. I'll do it to... Well, send me what you want and I'll decide what to do. I'll either put it into a prize draw or I'll choose it based on the response I get. So if you fancy these, I'll send these to you free of charge. I'm good like that. And it's one of the first benefits of being a member of PetrolBlog. And also a reason for sitting through these dull and rubbish videos. But look, she's looking good. Looking really good. Next video, Peugeot 306. Cool, blimey. Is that a Freudian slip? Am I hiding a car from you? No, I'm not. Next video, Peugeot 406 Coupe. Thank you for watching. Stay safe.